Hola, minasan. Welcome back for another round of One Piece. How y'all doing today? In our last set of chapters, Zolo took the spotlight and started beating up on the Union of Hunters, and we found out that one of those pirate hunters happens to be a princess with a royal guard from out of nowhere, and the baddies. Apparently, the baddies, these pirate hunters, are very, very bad people. Very, very bad people, making the world even more gray. So, the first adventure of the Grand Line begins, has officially begun. So let's not waste any time and let's get reading. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, Chapter 111, The Secret Criminal Organization. Igarappoi was laid flat on the ground with his mouth wide open and blood dripping off his skull, his forehead, angry and frustrated at Nami's proposal. Rebellion? Oh, you must still be tipsy, Solo said as Nami dropped from the top of the building as Luffy snored with a big giant balloon. Snore, dude, snore. Do you really think I'd get tipsy in a town that welcomed pirates? Give me more credit than that, she said, as Igarappoi cleared his throat. Ignoring him, they continued on their conversation. That was all an act. I can drink way more than that. Oh, I see. Solo looked away in frustration. Igarappoi struggled to get their attention, but Nami smiled with a twinkle, with a sparkle near her face, and the sound of doom. Well, will you pay us $1 billion or not, Chief? Cause without our help, it looks like your princess is gonna die. Huh? I am a humble soldier. I cannot possibly guarantee such a sum. What? Are you saying she isn't worth it? Put it up. She smiled as she leaned closer into his face, and sweat began pouring down the side of his forehead. And Zolo clenched his fists. That's blackmail. Well, well, if you deliver the princess safely to her kingdom and negotiate the fee with her, there should be no problem. And you expect us to save her before we get our money? What? He freaked out in shock. They may be killing her highness as we speak. All right. We'll save the princess first. She stroked her hair back and screamed out, all right, let's go, Solo. Are you crazy? He screamed out loud. Why should I go along with your silly money-making scheme? She turned around, pointing at his face. You're so stupid. The money's all mine, but the contract obligates the whole crew. What kind of logic is that? As the argument continued, Luffy slowly opened his eyes and sat up. Come on, all you have to do is swing a little sword. I don't like being used. I'm not like that stupid cook. And Luffy begins flopping along away from Nami and Zolo as they continue to argue on. You don't think you could beat them, do you? What? Say that again. Nature calls, dude. Luffy said as he sloshed his way from everyone. I said you don't think you could beat them. Stop repeating yourself. I think you'd forgotten something, she said with her hand on her hip. You told me. What? Oh, I don't, Solo said, crossing his arms. Remember the 100,000 baddies I lent you to buy the sword in Oaktown? I paid you back. Anyway, I got that sword for free, so I didn't even need your money. Yeah, but you promised to pay me 300% interest. As she remembered what he said. There's something I want to buy too. I'll be glad to lend you some money at 300% interest. To which then Nami said out loud, "You still owe me 300,000 berries." I gave back what I borrowed. Isn't that enough? No. Go. Aren't you going to keep your word? She said with the with a very frightening look in her eyes. If you help me, I'll forgive you. If you help me, I'll forgive your debt. Your debt. You're gonna pay in the afterlife. He stomped out with a huff and a puff. I know. I'm going to blazes. She smiled. We owe you a great debt, huh? If only I were stronger, Igarupoi said, then I could protect my princess. It's alright. Solo's as strong as an ox. If anything should happen to the princess, our kingdom would crumble. She must live. And she froze. Nami froze with the sweat drop on her head at the idea of a whole kingdom being destroyed. Meanwhile, the town went ooh. There was a strong landing and disturbance throughout the whole town. It was Karu. It stood before it was helping the princess escape. Let's see. The former Miss Wednesday said, "They found us! Hurry, Karu!" "Go-whack," said Karu. "There's a boat docked behind the cactus crag." Yeah. Miss Valentine said. I guess I gave them all Santa voices. That's fine. It's a futile, Mr. Five said as they continued the chase through the city, through the town. And right before the princess and Karu was Miss Monday, she said. Let's see, what did I give Miss Monday? Oh, standard voice? Okay. "Go on," she said. "Board the boat. They won't get past here. But thanks to the swordsman, we'll probably all be executed anyway. And if that's the case, I'd rather die helping a friend," Miss Monday said as the princess flew right past her. "Now go. Thank you," she says. She disappeared in the distance. "First Mr. Now you, Miss Monday." "Yeah, how funny." "You are disgraced." "Huh?" This Monday said as she pulled back on the giant log, ready to swing it like a bat. But before she had a chance, Mr. Five struck. "Two baroque rocks," he said, and Miss Monday, covered in flames, collapsed on the ground. The princess saw what happened. She struggled to want to turn around, but she knew she had to escape. "I'm a human dynamite. I can ignite my entire body," Mr. Five said. "With my boom boom fruit powers," he picked his nose, "I'm unstoppable. You'll never escape." He aimed his booger and flicked it at the princess and Karu. "That's palm lemon." And suddenly, Zolo appeared, like Scrooge McDuck, plunging the sword into the ground. The booger bomb split in half and exploded on the sides. None of the shrapnel hit any of them for some reason. "Mr. Bushido!" "Hey, the road." "Who's that guy?" Mr. Five said. "I sliced your boogers in two. Do you have any idea how gross that is?" "Darn it. He's such a nuisance. I don't have time for this." The princess started swinging her weapon, but Zolo immediately blocked it. Not so fast. I'm here to rescue you, you moron.
What? Huh? Rescue?
She was shocked. She didn't know what furthermore to say.
So,
Meanwhile, back at the bar,
just what is Baroque works?
Nami asked. It's a secret criminal organization, Ikarapoi replied. Not a soul in it knows what the boss looks like. It mostly deals in espionage, assassination, theft, and bounty hunting. The boss tells everyone what to do.
Oh, you don't even know what he looks like. Then why do you all obey him?
The ultimate goal of Baroque Works is to create a utopia. Those of us who work for Baroque Works have been promised high positions in that utopia.
Oh, you know you could get up.
I know, I just like lying here.
I see.
His code name is Mr. Zero. The closer your code name is to zero, the higher your position and the more powerful you are. Those with code names below 5 are especially dangerous. Their power is immense. Meanwhile, Luffy just waddling along like a balloon, like a bouncing balloon, looking for the bathroom. Having finished the bathroom. Phew, dude, that's better, he said. I think I'll go back to sleep, huh? And then suddenly he freaked out. What the heck, dude? In the distance, Miss Valentine and Mr. Five staring down Zolo and the princess, ready as they block their way.
So, you're the one who's been killing our people. Why would a guy like you want to protect the Princess of Alabasta?
I have my reasons, Zolo said.
Whatever. You're our enemy and you're in our way. Yeah, you're in the way, and I'm going to use my power too.
She removed her hat.
Bury you deep in the ground.
She let out a large smile. Solo, dude! Luffy screamed from down the street.
Now what?
Miss Valentine said. Luffy! Luffy stood before everyone, sloshing in a huff and a puff. Huff, dude, huff. How's it going? You don't have to get involved in this. Or do you owe her money too? I've had it with you. We're gonna fight, dude. What? To be continued. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, Chapter 112. Luffy versus Zolo. Zolo and Luffy are in the middle of an argument because Luffy is in another world with his brain. Zolo screamed out, "What are you talking about? Shut up, dude. I'm gonna pulverize you, you ungrateful jerk." Ungrateful? Everyone is listening to Luffy as the two argue. That's right, dude. What happened? Who did this? Luffy remembered leaning over all of the dead, and as he listened to the young guy. Your partner, the swordsman with the green hair. You're gonna pay for that, dude. The townspeople welcomed us. They fed us. They showered us with kindness. And you went and chopped them up. Dude. Zolo was taken aback to the sound of pang. Well, yeah, but...
Can he really be that dense?
The princess said.
Looks like he's the swordsman's friend. One entire pair. Ha ha ha! Let's get rid of them. Anyone who interferes with our mission must be eliminated.
Listen, Luffy, Zolo said, very calmly, despite letting out a puff of frustration. These people are all... I don't want to hear your excuses! Luffy suddenly, with all that fatness around him, teleported right on top of Zolo as Zolo's eyes bulged out in shock. Hey! And Luffy threw a gum punch, to which Zolo shifted his head to the side and avoided the attack. It created a crack in the floor as as Zolo looked in horror at the destruction Luffy made. "You're really trying to kill me?" he screamed out. "That's right, dude. Die. Wah! Why, you... Listen to me. Why, you..." Luffy delivered a kick in which Zolo jumped to the side. "Listen to me, you fool. Hey." Luffy screamed out as he was knocked into the wall. "That idiot. He's not kidding. Jeez."
Mr. Five?
Miss Valentine said as they watched the two fight each other.
They seem busy with their own affairs. I think you're right, Miss Valentine. In that case, let's get on with our mission,
he said, and they turned around to the princess.
"And finish Princess Vivi of Alabasta."
The princess looked on in frustration at what was going on in the situation, not asking herself why she didn't start running off while all this was going on.
"Come, Miss Valentine." "Right, Mr. Five."
And they chased her down. "Luffy, cut it out!" Zolo kicked Luffy in the gut and and sent Miss Valentine and Mr. Five flying in the air. Ah! Oof, dude. Luffy was kicked right into a building, causing debris to fall all over the place. "That's idiot," Zolo said with with an anger mark on the back of his head. Huh? And then he looked to the other side, and the princess was drew a little sweat from what she just witnessed. Mr. Five and Miss Valentine sat up as Luffy laid on the ground, nearly knocked out.
"Maybe trying to kill each other, but you keep getting in our way,"
Mr. Five said.
"You clumsy fools. Why don't we do the job for you?"
And immediately, Luffy listened on.
"How's that?"
As Mr. Five pulled his sleeve up, and Luffy with a burp stared right at them.
"Oh!"
This the princess said as Zolo stood right next to her, ready for whatever their plan is, and their plan was an explosion in the building, and Miss Valentine flew in the air with like Mary Poppins, floating on that umbrella.
"I've had it, Blast. Just die already. Feel the power from my kilo fruit. Ha 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 ha. Prepare to die. I only weigh 1 kilogram, light enough to land on a cloud of dust. However..."
And the princess immediately screamed out,
"Mr. Bushido, move. That woman is..."
"Be quiet."
Huh.
Zolo prepared for Miss Valentine's dive attack. "I'm busy," he said. And suddenly, there was a rumbling sound from the debris. It was Luffy. He came out all nice and skinny, having burped and farted out all the food he ate. Oh, man. He had already finished off Mr. Five and tossed him to the side. "Ah, dude, a little exercise sure speeds up the digestion, yeah."
"Mr. Five? That's impossible!"
the princess screamed out.
"How could he defeat an officer agent of Baroque Works?"
And Luffy lifted his head up, with his eyes veiled in the shadow of his hat. "Alright, dude, now let's get down to business. Luffy, calm down and listen to me." Zolo raised up his hand to reason with him. "These people are bounty hunters."
"Don't!"
Miss Valentine said. "They're our enemies," Zolo pleaded.
"Ignore me!"
Miss Valentine screamed out. And Luffy replied with a loud scream, "Stop lying, dude. They've never fed us like that if they were our enemies." Miss Valentine. The shouting match now resumes. The shouting match resumes.
"Listen to me! I have the power to change my weight at will from 1 to 10,000 kilograms! Feel my 10,000 kilo press!" She flew right past Zolo and crashed into the ground.
as he sidestepped her with relative ease. Whoop. And then he looked over at Luffy. Luffy, talking to you is a waste of breath. All right, you idiot. He put on his bandana and quickly gripped the hilt of his sword. You idiot. Have it your way. I'll fight for real. But don't come crying to me when I kill you. Fine, dude, Luffy said with his fist clenched out as Solo slowly unsheathed his sword.
What's going on?
The princess said.
Aren't they on the same side?
And Luffy screamed out, gun, gun. Solo with all three swords out. Oni! Grr! Grr! Bazooka! Gary! And their signature attacks clashed. So, Luffy's chancla blocked the sword. The blade never penetrated through. And Solo struggled. They struggled in the clash position. Now we'll find out who's superior, the swordsman or the fighter. Good, dude. Let's settle this right now. Grah! Grah! And they continued flurries of attacks as Luffy blocked every strike, Solo blocked every strike, and they bounced off of each other. Luffy crashing into the debris, Solo crashing into the wall, and they both lay in the pile of rubble. As the princess, for some dumb reason, has yet to run off and get away from everybody, and as far away as possible from everybody. And that's when she said,
"Well, I did. I need to escape. I had plenty of time to run, but is it safe to go through here? I mean, I could have just gone the other direction and still successfully escape, but I guess I'm going to stay here and watch everything keep going on for some weird reason instead of just running off while I have the chance. I mean, it's not like I don't have this running bird here or something, but I guess I'll just sit here like an idiot and continue to watch people fight."
"Grah, dude!" Luffy screamed out as he bashed it out of the debris. Grah! Solo screamed out as he bashed out of the debris. And Karu screamed out, "Ah! Ah, dude! Oh!" And they clashed once again, flurry of punches and sword swinging, bouncing off of each other as Mr. Five slowly got up to his knees with Miss Valentine standing next to him to the sound of chonk.
"Glad to be at us. We're Officer Angel of Baroque Works. This is a disgrace." "Yeah, right, Mr. Five,"
Miss Valentine said.
"So let's show them our true power." "Miss Valentine." "Right, Mr. Five."
And the two of them looked in their direction. Shut up, dude. And they froze in place with mouths wide open, with Mr. Five's mouth gaping open, the fly entering in.
"Huh?"
And Miss Valentine immediately clutching her shoulders in absolute fear. "You're interrupting our fight," Zolo said as he these two idiots. Solo and Luffy flew right past Miss Valentine, Mr. Five, knocking them out into the air. Dude, Luffy said with his fist out and Zolo's sword. My God. This is so dumb. To be continued, One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, Chapter 113, It's All Right. Mr. Five flew in the air. Miss Valentine floated in the air. And they all plunged right back onto the earth with a loud explosion and the sound of boom. Solo stood in the pose and said, "They're so noisy." Luffy with his fist curled in a pose. "Who are those guys, dude?" And as they stared out at the princess, as Karo's mouth was wide open, a fly entered his throat, saw the debris that is Baroque works sift up into the air.
Incredible,
The princess said.
what strength! Who would have thought that men like these could still be found at the start of the Grand Line?
Want to finish this? Solo said, looking at Luffy. Sure, dude. Luffy looked back. Roar! And they continued fighting once again, lunging at each other. And Nami came out of nowhere with a double fist to their faces.
Ah, enough!
Ugh, dude. And the princess was shocked.
Just what do you think you're doing?
She said with her hands on her hips as as Luffy and Zolo laid on the ground in pain.
Well, the girl's okay. That's the main thing.
And she grabbed them by the collars and pulled them up.
But do you realize you're gonna cost me 1 billion baddies? Do you?
She started shaking them violently. And the princess asked,
What do you mean? Why are you helping me?
Nami smiled as Luffy and Zolo started clawing at each other's faces.
Oh, well, we have a business to discuss. What say we negotiate? Negotiate? Stop fighting!
Nami says she did a double cross punch on the back of their heads, and they fall face first onto the ground. Go whack, Karo said, as the princess watched on with a sweat drop on the back of her head. Moments later, as everything calmed down and everyone spoke, Luffy let out a loud laugh. Ha 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 ha, dude. Well, why didn't you say so? I didn't know them people were unrighteous. I thought you got mad and beat everyone up because they didn't have the dish you wanted. That's something you would do, wouldn't it? Zolo screamed out. Ha 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 ha, dude. Don't be mad. That was a righteous fight.
That's impossible,
The princess said.
but I'm very grateful to you for having saved my life. Thank you.
To which Nami replied,
But why? You're a princess, aren't you? What's 1 billion baddies to you? What do you know about Alabaster?
The princess replied.
Never heard of it. You see, Alabaster was once the most civilized nation on the Grand Line and the most peaceful at one time.
She said as everyone listened on.
At one time? The citizens of Alabaster have grown rebellious in recent years. Riots and uprisings have thrown the kingdom into turmoil. Then one day I learned of a secret organization called Baroque Works. The rumor was that agents of Baroque Works had been stirring up the citizens. But try as I might, I couldn't uncover information that would help us fight these criminals. So I went to Igaran, who has looked after me since I was a child.
Dude, the guy with the giant rollers? That's awesome.
Yeah, well, I hope to find the source of the rumors and infiltrate Baroque Works. I could then find out who was pulling the strings and learn his intentions.
You're pretty brave for a princess, Zolo said as he sat chilled on the box.
But isn't the goal of Baroque Works to create the ideal country? Then why would... The boss deceives his minions with talk of an ideal country,
The princess said as she clenched her fingers on her knees.
The true aim of Baroque Works is the conquest of Alabasta. I've got to return to my land and stop the rebellion before my people throw themselves into Baroque Works clutches. Oh, so that's how it is. I'm starting to get the picture. With your country in chaos, there's no money to be made there.
But dude, who's pulling the strings?
I can't tell you the boss's identity. What a question! Don't ask me that. I can't tell you. No, that I did. They'd hunt you down too.
So what, dude? I'm total righteous.
That's okay. Don't tell us. I mean, if he wants to take over the whole kingdom, he must be one scary guy. That he is,
She said. The princess said.
You're very strong, but you're no match for Sir Crocodile, one of the 7 warlords of the sea.
And a loud gasp occurred as the princess covered her mouth. Nami clutched her shoulders. Luffy's mouth gaped out wide, and Solo in a very chilled, calm voice. You just told us. Great. And that caught the attention of Miss Friday and Mr. 13. The otter and the bird, the sea otter and the bird, stood there on top of the of the of the roof, to the sound of the tick, and they, having had spied on them, waiting for that moment, they looked at each other, and Mr. 13 hopped on Miss Friday and flew out, as everybody stood there foolishly not making a move. Nami immediately grabbed the princess and by the collar and started shaking her violently.
Ah, the bard and the otter, who are they? Are they going to report that that you just told us the secret? Where?
Dude, hear that? One of the 7 warlords. This could be fun. Luffy and Luffy and Zolo smiled at each other as the princess cried out in tears.
I'm sorry, I slipped out. You slipped out? Now those creeps will be after us too. Ah, and we finally reached the Grand Line and we're already wanted by the 7 warlords of the sea. This is too much,
she said as she started wiping away the tears. Well, we're lucky. We'll get to meet him soon. I wonder what he's like, dude. I wonder if he's righteous.
Would you told shut up?
Nami screamed out in tears and started walking away in a huff.
It was a pretty partnership while it lasted. I'm out of here.
Hey, Nami, dude, where you going?
Oh, he has no idea what I look like. I'm getting away from here.
No, he didn't. As Nami walked away, she looked up and saw Mr. Friday with a notepad in hand, sketching on it. He then revealed his perfect drawing of Luffy, Zolo, and Nami.
Wow, you're good.
She started clapping. She started clapping at Mr. Friday's artwork. She immediately turned around, stomping off as Miss Friday and Mr. Mr. 13 flew off into the sky. And in a fit of rage, she screamed out,
"Now there's nowhere left it on. I'm sorry,"
the princess said. Funny, isn't she, dude? Well, where were you planning to run anyway, Nami? The 3 of us are on Baroque Works hit list now. It's kind of exciting, dude. It'd be like Arlong all over again. The princess consoled Nami as the navigator, hugged her knees in the corner.
I have about 500,000 berries saved up.
Fair enough. Oh my god. What is wrong with these people? Ikaru Pie stood before everyone, dressed like the princess with a giant wig, matching wig. Me. Everything is under control. I have a plan.
Igarami, why are you dressed like that?
Wow, dude, you look good, mister. You Madonna? Really?
Oh, jeez, they're all insane,
Nami said, burying her face in her knees. Now listen up. Now that you're wanted by Baroque Works, they'll send someone right away, especially since you beat Mr. 5 and his partner. There's something else you should know. Right now, there's no bounty on the boss, even though he's one of the 7 warlords of the sea. But Sir Crocodile once had a bounty of 80 million berries on his head. By the way, about escorting Princess Phoebe to Alabasta. Huh, dude? What are you talking about? He wants us to take her home, Solo said, pointing at the princess. Oh, is that the deal, dude? Okay, that's righteous.
80 million? That's 4 times worth Arlong, 4 times what Arlong was worth. Turn it down!
Nami screamed out. Please forgive me, princess. The eternal poles of Alabasta.
Huh? The eternal pause? What's that?
What? You don't know? He said to Nami. Simply put, it's a permanent log pose. A normal log pose guides you from one island to the next along the Grand Line. He then presented the eternal pose. But the eternal pose remembers one location forever. Think of it as Ubisoft checkpoint. No matter where you go, it always points to the same island. This is our eternal pose. The magnetic coordinates of Alabasta are recorded in it.
Ah, Princess Baby, I've disguised myself as...
Oh. He's still speaking. Princess Vivi, I've disguised myself as you. Because it was pointing at Nami. It threw me off. Princess Vivi, I've disguised myself as you. I'm going to set out for Alabasta with dummies of these three. While I divert Baroque Works' attention, you must go with these people on the ship and return to Alabasta by the usual route. I've never gone that way, but Alabasta should be only 2 or 3 blog post stops from here. May we meet again in our homeland, he said. At the merry-go. At the edge of the island, where Aragon's ship is floating at and docked with the 3 dummies on board. The princess stood before him for a final farewell. Please take care of the princess, he said. Mister, that outfit really looks great on you. I really thought you were Madonna. I was ready to vote. On who? Zolo said with his arms crossed. Princess, it may be a difficult journey, but please be careful. He shook her hand.
You too.
She smiled. He's gone, dude. That guy was a laugh to the very end. Ha ha.
He may not look it, but he's very reliable,
the princess said. Princess Vivi, she remembered his words. It's up to you to save the kingdom. He smiled at her. And as they turned around and walked away, there was a loud boom. And they looked back, and there was a gigantic fireball lifting up into the air in the horizon. It lit the sky bright. Everyone watched in horror as Nami said,
Ah, it can't be.
She screamed out,
They got him already.
The princess was completely silent as Luffy's eyes were veiled in shadow from and anger built up. I like that dude, he screamed out.
Nami,
how's the log pose, he said.
It's all set.
Then bring it. We're setting sail.
Princess Phoebe, hurry. If they find...
Oh gosh, I lost the voice.
Princess Phoebe, hurry. If they find us, we're gone.
She said as she clutched the princess's shoulders. But she saw her lip was bit and blood seeped out. But Nami immediately hugged her.
She's a strong girl,
she thought, and she screamed out,
It's all right. We'll get you to Alabasta.
Hey, Luffy, Zolo said. Wake the other 2 fools. I'm going to the ship. Those 4 saved the East Blue. Oh, crap. Who's talking here? Okay, it's Nami. Nami's assuring. So Nami gave the princess an assurance.
Those 4 saved the East Blue all by themselves.
All right, dude, I'll get them.
The 7 warlords of the sea, no problem.
She said as Sanji and Usopp continue snoozing at the bar. To be continued, One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, Chapter 114, The Course. Luffy clutched Usopp by the nose, waking him up, and he clutched Sanji by the leg, waking him up also. He pulled them with high speed, bashing through the entire frame of the door.
Yo! This is a red alert.
Let's go, dudes.
All hands to battle stations. All personnel arm up and cancel the circus.
Let go! Let go! Hey, what's going on? Sanji screamed out. My nose! It's gonna break off my nose! Usopp screamed as Luffy ran at high speed, dragging the two across the ground. Meanwhile, another part of town, Nami and the princess are running as fast as they could.
Oh, I feel it,
she said. And the princess thought to herself as she looked around,
I can't find Karoo.
ugh. Zolo screamed out as he lifted the heavy anchor with his bare hands onto the merry-go. Phew. Hey, dude. Zolo looked back and saw Luffy running with Sanji and Usopp towed along. I got him, dude. Get aboard. We're ready to sail. Uh-oh. They went back to sleep. We don't have time to look for the... Nami screamed out,
we don't have time to look for the board. But I can't leave him here.
The princess screamed out. Hey, what's up?
It's our dog. Karo's missing. He's supposed to come when she whistles.
You mean him? He pointed at the Karu out of nowhere, and he screamed out, "Call whack!" with his arm, with his feather raised up. He was on board when I got here.
There you are!
Nami was frustrated from that. Both of them. To which then the princess screamed out,
Sail the ship upriver. We can catch the current a little further out. That'll put us on course faster at least.
Let's go, dude. And the sails caught the wind and started sailing. And pushed moved the boat. Yeah, it's sailing. Hey, dude, I wonder how many agents they'll send after us.
I don't know, but Baroque Works has about 2,000 members, and I've heard there are other towns like Whiskey Pete and these waters. We could have thousands of them after us. It's possible they'd send that many to keep the boss's identity secret.
And through the flames, where Igarapoi died. Hey, thanks for the raid, Bad Kitty Gaming over on the Twitch side. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. Thanks for the raid. A ship started sailing through the flames and emerged, and there was a cowgirl with a smile on her face.
Decor? How silly.
Let's see here. Give her that nice cowboy, cowgirl, southern accent. Southern accent. There we go. That was quick and simple. Meanwhile, on the ship, Nami, Sanji, and Usopp screamed out loud, "What's going on? Why did we sail? Wait, can't we stay one more night? It's a fun town and the girls are really cute. Yeah. Who knows when we'll get to unwind again? Let's relax and have fun. We're pirates after all. It's not even morning yet. Let's go back. Are you listening?" Solo said, looking at Nami. "Explain things to those guys."
I did.
And they were laying on the deck, knocked out, as the princess and Luffy watched on with sweat drops hanging off their heads. Oh man! As the merry-go sailed upriver, there was a fog building up.
There's fog ahead. It's almost morning.
And the cowgirl watched them all with glee.
Be careful not to run up on the rocks. I'm so glad you managed to escape,
she said. What? Solo immediately turned around with his hand on his sword, on his sheath.
Not shit,
she said. Who's that? Who is that? He screamed out as everyone looked up at the cowgirl.
I met your friend Mr. 8 earlier, Miss Wednesday. Didn't you kill Igaro?
Forget about that. How'd you get on our ship, dude? What are you... the princess screams out.
What are you doing here, Miss All Sunday?
Miss All Sunday, Baroque Works, Vice President and Supreme Commander. Here we go. That's a crazy name, Miss All Sunday. Miss All Sunday. Sunday, she gets the southern accent because she's in the cowgirl outfit. Makes sense. Although I could have given her an Italian accent for that spaghetti western feel, but nah, it's all right. Let's see here. Miss All Sunday sat with her legs crossed and resting her hand on her face on her hand with a light smile on her face. Nami looked out at everybody.
Oh, what now? Is she Mr. What's his number's partner? She's Mr. Zero's partner,
The princess said.
She was the only one who knew the boss's true identity, so we followed her and found out who the boss was. Actually, I'll let you follow me,
she said with confidence. That was nice of her, dude.
We knew that. But then you...
Oh, okay.
We knew that. But then you told the boss that... We knew that. But then you told the boss that we learned his true identity.
Well, that wasn't nice.
Just what do you want? I'm curious. You seem so honest. I just had to help you. A princess declaring war on Baroque works to save her country? How pathetic.
She showed no care in the world. The princess grit her teeth and remembered what Igarappoi said. Baby, meet a gun in our homeland. And she screamed out,
Don't underestimate us.
And suddenly Sanji pointed his gun at her head with Usopp pulling back his slingshot.
Hey, you know what you're doing, right?
Usopp said.
Not really, but it looked like my beloved Miss Wednesday was in danger.
And this all Sunday let out a sigh.
Don't pull it. Those things are it's dangerous. It's dangerous.
She said as they suddenly flipped over the banister and started falling down to the deck below.
Huh?
What the?
Oh, she must have devil fruit.
Whoa, dude. And as Usopp and Sanji crashed onto the deck, everyone was suddenly Nami's power pole and Sanji and Zolo's sword were knocked off their hands.
Huh?
What? She has devil fruit powers, Zolo said as he nursed his wrist.
What kind of powder was that?
So Nami said, "Hey, she's beautiful!" Sanji screamed out with hearts in his eyes.
Don't get excited. I'm not on assignment, so I have no reason to fight you.
Huh? He watched his hat suddenly float up and and planted on Miss All Sunday's hand.
So you're the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates, eh? Monkey D. Luffy?
Hey, dude! He screamed out as he watched his hat be captured. Give me back my hat! That's picking a fight! He screamed out with his fist clenched, and Usopp screaming from behind the mast.
Your enemy, now get lost!
He pointed out.
That rotten luck. That rotten luck. But farmer members, what rotten luck. You're being hunted by Baroque works just because you befriended the princess. And you, princess, your only protection is a bunch of pirates. But the worst luck of all is where your log post is sending you. You're headed to a place called Little Garden. I guess we needn't bother killing you after all,
she said.
You'll never reach Alabasta or see Miss Crocodile's face.
Dude, we'll show you. Now give me back my hat, he said as he watched Miss All Sunday wear his hat on top of her hat.
Yeah, dumb head,
Usopp screamed out. Yeah, that's telling her, Zolo said.
Anyone can stand around and yell.
She said as she snapped her finger.
But to sail knowingly into mortal danger is just silly. It's just silly.
She said as Luffy's hat twirled right back onto his head.
It's the eternal pose.
The princess said, looking at the compass.
You'll be able to bypass difficulty with that,
she said.
It points to the island of nothing, which is one step before Alabasta. It's a route that even our ancients don't know about, so no one will follow you. Ah, wait. Is she one of the good guys? Yeah, why would you give us this?
It's probably a trap.
Who knows? What to do? I don't want her help, but these people are giving me a ride, so should I take the safest route possible?
Who needs that thing? Luffy said, snatching the log post. Oh no! And he crushed it with the palm of his hands. Nami kicked him square in the face. Ah, are you crazy? As he screamed out,
She just gave us an easy halt. What if she really was trying to help us?
Nami pointed at Miss All Sunday. She's not deciding what course we take. He screamed out, and the princess paused. And Miss All Sunday smiled lightly.
I see it. That's too bad. Patron will remember you for doing that. Oh, you!
Nami screamed out with a huff. I don't like her. She blew up the guy with the rollers. That's not righteous, dude.
I don't have a problem with I don't have a problem with Force of Man. We'll meet again if you survive.
I hope not. I'll beat you within an inch of your life. And she hopped onto the back of a turtle, floating away. Oh my gosh, she's a warlord? She can't be a war. Oh my gosh, is she a warlord? She sat down. All children relaxed.
Let's go, Butchie.
Snort, he said as he floated away. Wow, dude, a turtle. And it's a big one. Dude.
I wish I knew what her game was.
She said, the princess says she dropped to her knees.
Well, there's no use worrying about it.
She said, we're used to scheming women around here. Zolo leaned back on the mast with his arm crossed.
Hey, what's going on? I don't really get any of this.
Usopp screamed in frustration. As the merry-go floated out into the sea.
Miss Wednesday, are you really one of us? Hey, I'm confused.
A giant
dog. I'm not sure I should be here. I'm putting you all in danger. What are you saying? It's your fault they're after us. If you didn't want to endanger us, you shouldn't have told us the boss's identity. I said I was sorry. Right, Luffy?
It's morning, dude. Sanji, time for breakfast.
He's not worried? It's okay. The sun's up.
Somebody tell me what's going on. Let's sail, dude. Miss Wednesday, do you know the woman who was here earlier? Woof, this is so much dialogue for to which Miss All Sunday looked back at them and said,
First stop, Little Garden. But Father remembers. First stop, Little Garden. That should be interesting.
The next island, Little Garden. A dense jungle with a tiger walking around and gigantic footprints next to it. To be continued. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. Sanji took a smoke of his cigarette. I see, he said. Sorry I missed the action, but I'll have other chances to show my stuff. Never fear, the sleeping knight has awakened and guarantees your safety. And why is Usopp's mouth opened wide to this as he shook and shivered in fear, and a fly entered his mouth. I'm glad I slept through it. Nami, do I detect a hint of jealousy?
No.
Well, you could count on me to help. Usopp pointed over to Luffy. Rumor has it that the 30 million berry reward on this wanted poster is mostly for me. He smiled. Dude, is it gonna snow? No way. It's gonna snow. You don't know, cause you were asleep when it happened, dude. Hey, I think it's gonna snow again. My gosh, that mind. Luffy smiled. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda, Chapter 115, Little Garden of Adventure.
It's not that it doesn't snow here,
The princess said.
but the ocean back there was different. It was crazy because of the 7 magnetic fields coming from Reverse Mountain. Still, we can't relax yet,
She said.
The seas may not be as rough as they were when we started, but they'll definitely be worse than normal oceans. Don't forget the cardinal rule. Never underestimate the Grand Line.
She said as the merry-go floated along the calm seas for the moment. Hey guys, want to try a special trick I made? Sanji said while climbing up on the deck. Yeah, dude. Luffy threw his fist up in the air as he laid back on his lounge chairs and see the drinks and that Sanji carried on the tray. And, and everyone cheered, and Kuro was like, whack. The princess was angry at their relaxation.
Are they supposed to be doing that? Why not? They'll pitch in if there's a blow. They don't want to die either. Here, have a drink.
She handed the alcohol to the princess.
Okay, but I still don't like it.
Well, this drink's incredible. Kawaii. Like it? Drink up, bird. Hey, Usopp, dude, make us some fishing gear. Yeah, fishing sounds good, Zolo said as he took a sip from the drink.
Okay, I'll make us really elegant fishing poles.
And Nami smiled.
Don't your cats just melt today on a ship like this?
And she took a sip of the drink as the princess listened on. And she watched the crew mess around a bit, and she let out a light smile.
Yes, it's very relaxing.
Hey, look everybody, a dolphin! Well, dude.
How cute!
And the dolphin jumped into the air, and they all looked up as a shadow veiled over their bodies.
It's huge!
Get back, dudes! Aye, aye, Captain. Everybody immediately spread across the deck and began pulling on the mast and getting the ship all prepared for the dolphin's impact. As Luffy gave one order out at each time. And Nami immediately peered through the compass, the log, and there was an island. Wow, that was kind of weird. All right, that was a very weird sequence there. Nami spotted the island in the distance.
There's no mistake. At the Cactus Island, the next island on our course is that one. There it is, the second island of Grand Line. We've got to be careful,
The princess said.
I'm worried about what Miss All Sunday said. You mean there are monsters? I don't know, could be. We better find proficient since we didn't stock up in Whiskey Peak,
Sanji said with a puff of his cigarette.
Wow, this island's practically uncharted and overgrown.
No, Usopp wouldn't say that.
Wow, this island, practically uncharted and overgrown. This is Little Garden. That's crazy. Who would give a name like that to a place like this? There's nothing little here. I mean, everything is huge. I've never seen plants like these in any book.
Nami said, looking at the jungle that they're passing through.
Go! Yeah.
Nami said, scared out of in fright, and covered her ears. She looked up in the air.
What was that?
Oh, Nami! Sanji said with heart-shaped smoke puffing out of his cigarette. You're so cute when you're scared. Don't worry, it was just a bird, he said as the bird flapped high in the sky. And this is just a normal jungle. There's nothing to be afraid of. To which Luffy eyes grew wide. A lizard. And certainly it was. It was a lizard, feathered, with sharp claws and razor fangs. Caw, caw. And that's when they felt the doom. Doom.
Ah, does that sound like a normal jungle?
And it stopped. The jungle went, and it stopped. It tried one more time, and it stopped. It's more like a volcano blew its top. Usopp screamed out, and there was a light growl. Dude, is it a tiger? And something was coming out of the... And it was a tiger. Completely collapsing with blood splurting out. It caught Nami's attention.
Ah, there's nothing normal about this place. What kind of monster could attack a tiger like that? They're kings of the jungle.
I say we don't set foot on this island.
Yeah, let's just wait on the ship for the log poles to reset and get the heck away from here. But we've got to get to Alabasta fast.
Sanji. Luffy started shaking with a grin on his face. I need a lunchbox. A lunchbox? Right, a pirate lunchbox. I smell adventure, dudes.
Ah, wait a minute, yo. What do you think you're going?
On an adventure, dude, he said with a shining smile on his face. Hey, want to come? It'll be righteous.
Ah, it's hopeless. There's no stopping him. He's too wound up.
Nami cried. Sanji, my lunch, dude.
Okay. Keep your head on, Captain. Hey, can I come too?
The princess said, Yeah, sure, dude.
Not your tour. Why not? I'll just brood if I sit around here. This'll keep me busy while the log post resets. I'll be alright. Karo will protect me.
The bird screamed out in shock.
The duck's scared quackless.
I'll fix your sweetheart lunch, princess, Sanji said.
Could you give Karo a drink too?
Sorry.
Could you give Karo a drink too?
The princess said. And they disembarked off the merry-go, and Luffy and the princess skittered off into the dense forest. Yeah, dude, let's go.
See you when we see you.
Quack.
Miss Wednesday sure is brave,
Usopp said.
She had to be to infiltrate the King of Crooks.
Yeah, well, I've got time to kill too, Zolo said, cracking his neck. I think I'll take a walk.
Take a walk?
Zolo, wait! Huh?
We're running out of food. If you come across anything that looks edible, bring it back.
Will do. I'll bag something you could never kill. Hold it right there! Sanji screamed out, huh?
Them's fighting words! You think you can bag a bigger beast than I can?
He took a puff of his smoke. Definitely, Solo said with his hands in his hips, in his pockets.
I challenge you to a hunt! And then there were the two. Why does it always end up like this?
Nami cried with tears pouring down her cheeks again.
It's a contest over the most kilos of meat.
Why not tons? Sounds good to me. He said as they both went separate directions.
I know the feeling. Don't cry. I'll be your friend.
Usopp, the tears poured down. And they realized they were all alone. They gasped as the merry-go floated in the river. and Usopp looked in Nami's direction.
You're useless.
And Nami screamed out,
Sam to you.
And they both sat down on the deck.
Wait a minute, huh? I just remembered. I've read about this before. About what? Little garden.
Here, take a look at this. Luffy said to the princess as he found a nautilus resting on a log. It's some kind of squid, an armored one.
Oh, that looks like an ammonite.
That means
armored.
That means armored squid, right?
Not this one. Not this one.
Nami said as piles of books were falling on the ground. Hey, quack. Luffy and Karo looked in the same direction.
Where was it? I forgot. I feel like I just read about it,
she said as she's going through every single book and throwing them on the floor. And standing before Luffy, Carl, and the princess was a giant dinosaur. It raised its head up, chewing on the tops of the trees. What's a Neptunian doing here?
Dinosaur!
Dinosaur? Luffy smiled.
This is a prehistoric island.
Huh?
The age of dinosaurs never ended here. Because it's so hard to travel on the Grand Line, the islands were here have been isolated, so each one has developed its own unique culture. Some cultures are very advanced,
she said as sweat poured down her face.
Others have stayed unchanged for thousands of years. The unstable climate of the Grand Line makes this possible. This island is still in the dinosaur age. It's stuck in time. Oh, get off that thing!
She screamed out as Luffy climbed up the neck of the dinosaur. Cool, dude. I want this as a pet. We gotta take him back with them, ride the merry-go.
Oh, Usopp.
What? Did you find the book? He said as Nami charged out of the cabin. Oh, snap. Oh, snap.
Oh, big trouble. I know what island this is.
So she screamed out as a gigantic beast started pushing away the palm trees and approached the merry-go. She looked up with eyes frozen in terror.
Ah!
Yeah! To its inhabitants, the island truly is a little garden. Therefore, let us call it Little Garden, Land of Giants. Louis Arnott, Explorer. Oh, okay. Wow, that's this threw me off there. I'm like, wait, we're suddenly in the next chapter? To be continued. One Piece by Eiichiro Oda. This was pretty funny because of Luffy. He is off the charts. His brain. Although this one really wasn't his fault entirely, because who could blame him? He was completely laid out, with the itis after having such a large meal. But we basically got comedic moments here. Nami, extorting Igaram, Mr. 8, Igaropoi, out of the billion berries. She aims a little too high. Nami needs to aim a little low. But basically, her and Zolo, great chemistry, always fighting each other. Luffy, as usual, like just sloshing along here. Man had to go pee. This chapter was just pretty straightforward and simple. The princess is running away. Miss Monday tried to help her escape, but Mr. Nine and Miss Valentine proved to be too powerful for Miss Monday and took her out very easily. But it shows that the princess really was surrounded by good people, even though they were infiltrations kind of thing. So she got taken out very easily, and that was it. Very nice effect here. I really like the effect here when he hits her and put her in flames and everything. But it looks like because of his boom boom fruit powers, I don't know if we're gonna see these guys again though. That'll be interesting if they don't get killed off or anything. But they probably but we didn't get to see much because they got taken out in a comedic manner. And Zolo with the most awesome block to date. Splitting a booger in half and it explodes. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a good thing that we don't have the booger bomb anymore. I think it's a good thing we don't have the booger bomb. But we get more information from Igaram. Baroque's ultimate goal to create utopia, which is pretty interesting. That's a good motivation, and we find utopia. So it's pretty straightforward. Pretty straightforward villain want. So that's good. And we find out that the closer his code name is Zero, and the closer you are to Zero, the more powerful you are. That's the rule, and we got to see that later down the line. In the meantime, we just got all this comedy going on here because Luffy shows up and he's like, "I'm gonna fight you," which is what happens in the next chapter. He gets into a fight with Zolo because he thought that Zolo killed the townspeople, not knowing, which is fair. He didn't know that the townspeople were actually, bloodthirsty bounty hunters, and thought that Zolo killed them all off and everything. And that's fair. You know what? That's fair. And of course, in true Luffy fashion, is like, you killed these innocent people, I'm taking you down. So it shows that he won't tolerate that amongst his crew, and that's and I think that's pretty good characteristic to show. Now, because even though it was by accident, you know what I'm saying, it was just a misunderstanding. He didn't know what the situation is, and that is also good because it shows that Luffy will not tolerate this in his crew. He won't tolerate this type of behavior. And that's why I say this is good. You know what I'm saying? Even it may seem like a comedic effect, but this is a great characterization of Luffy because if it was for real, that not just Zolo but any member goes south, this is how he will respond to that crew member. He will go after them. He won't let something like this happen ever. You know what I'm saying? He's in it for just getting the treasure. He's not in it to pillage and hurt people. He just wants to he just wants to get whatever supplies is needed. You know what I'm saying, if necessary. But as a pirate, and just go on about his business looking for treasure. He's not interested in pillaging and murdering people like some like other pirates do. And he won't let any crew member do that. And I think that's a great establishment, here. Because we've seen him, build up his relationship with the crew, but now that they're in uncharted territory, uncharted waters with uncharted islands, crazy things are going to be happening, and Luffy can't afford to have any crew member, go crazy on him and go around, killing people and so on. Which is fine. That's fair. You know what I'm saying? That's fair, especially to his ideals and his wants as a captain for what he expects from his crew. And we get this whole misunderstanding fight. We get a whole misunderstanding fight as Mr. Five and Miss Valentine watch on. But as always, and it's always annoying when it comes to writing. The princess is still standing there. I mean, these two got taken out by accident. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, right here. It was over here, right? Yeah, it was over here. We see that, Mr. Five is taken out. Miss Valentine is taken out because she crashes in there. And the princess is still standing there. She's still standing there. See, there she is. What's going on? Aren't they on the same side? Why are you not running? They took out the two most dangerous guys out there, and you're not running. The two people that are after you. Why are you still standing there, princess? Go. Don't write like this, anybody. Do not write like that. If you have a chance to make a character escape, get them to escape. Don't worry about what direction or anything. Don't try and make any excuses or anything. If there's a free opening, which she has, go. Okay? The bird can jump up on top of buildings. Jump on top of the building and run. There ain't no reason. There's no reason to be standing there and watching Luffy and Zolo fight. Seriously. It's the writing's unnecessary. This is unnecessary in the writing. She could have been long gone. I mean, look at just look at. She's all by herself, right there, all by herself. Everybody's laid out. The bad guys are laid out. The good guys are laid out. Why are you still standing there? Why are you questioning? Just go. Just go. Flight. Just go into flight right now. Oh man. Oh man. Oh my gosh. It just annoys me when that happens. I mean, come on, just look at in chapter 113. They're knocked out. She's still standing there. Run. Run! Run! Look at, they're even JoJo posing. The heroes are JoJo posing. This is your chance to run while they're JoJo posing. You don't have to deal with them either. Your whole mission is to escape. Escape from everybody. Of course, Nami pops up and knocks out Luffy and Zolo to put an end to this, and starts shaking them violently for being idiots. Man, and they finally settle down. She talks with Nami talks with the princess and got the whole lowdown of what happened in the kingdom. It got rebellious. Riots are happening, and Baroque stepped in and convinced the citizens to join the side. So now she wants to prevent all of that from happening and figure out who the heck is behind who the leader is to take him out. So not very easy, but however, the thing is that the princess and Igaram found out who the person is, but they can't say anything because if they do, they're gonna get killed. Everybody will get killed. Everybody who knows, because the person who is trying to keep the secret, Mr. Zero, definitely does not want to be known. So the princess proceeds to tell him. Why? I don't know. Comedic effect. It's all comedic effect. I know. It's all comedic effect. But at least the princess isn't perfect. You know, slip of the tongue. It turns out to be Sir Crocodile. He's one of the 7 warlords of the sea. So now we got to meet Mihawk, and now we're going to get to meet Sir Crocodile, the second warlord. Second of the 7 warlords. And we all know, and if Mihawk is a taste of the warlords, that means of what the warlords are capable of doing. That means that Sir Crocodile could probably destroy islands with just a blink of an eye. he'd be like wink, and everything collapses. So you know, everybody freaked out, and Mr. 13 and Miss Friday, the bird and otter, figured it all. You know, listened on and flew off. And in quite comedic scene here, Nami is like, "Oh, that's really nice," and and freaked out because now the perfect drawing of the 3 of them has been sent out. Oh man! But then we get a nice little tender moment where Igaram is going to act as a decoy while the princess escapes, and gets blown up. He just gets blown up with one of the most violent scenes I've seen to date on One Piece. This whole big flame here, and everything just vaporized. And look how big the flame is, because down here, those 4 little dots is Luffy and them. It's that's a pretty intense explosion. I can tell you that much. But yeah, Nami consoled her, and everybody is now ready to set sail and get as far away as possible. Which, funny enough, in chapter 114, after Luffy dragged and basically damaged the crap out of Usopp and Sanji, they're still left in the dark trying to figure out what's going on. We get introduced to Mr. Zero's, I guess, number 2, Vice President and Supreme Commander. So she must be number 2. That's Miss All Sunday, which is very funny name, Miss All Sunday, which we'll see again, but she's really showing the level of power by not really giving a damn and being all chill and everything about it. She has a gum. Yep, she is another gum. So there's a lot of gum fighters in the Grand Line. That's even more scarier. So between the 7 warlords and the gums, as well as all these bounty hunters, the crew got a little over their head on this, but But basically, she's very chill, and she's got a crazy power because she can actually knock things off or make things float towards her, like something. You know what I'm saying? Like she could, without even moving a muscle. I mean, just take a good look at this. She just flipped them over while still sitting in that position. But she's able to make things float and move around with I don't know if it's with her mind or whatever. But it's pretty impressive that that we're being left in the dark on this. We're showing what it does, and we're wondering what is this gum fruit. Pretty cool, like that. That's a good approach in the writing. That's a very good approach in the writing. Of course, Luffy ready to fight, but yeah, she warned them. She warned them about an island called Little Garden, which is where they're heading for, and she tried to give them an out, which would also mean that they'd have to fight her and everybody else. But if they go to Little Garden, nobody would follow, and for obviously for a clearly good reason. But leave it to Luffy to screw everything up because they had a very powerful log pose that actually actually creates waypoints. It creates Ubisoft waypoints, and he just crushed it, and rightfully so. Nami kicked him in the face like this. he just can't stop. Also, love the turtle ride that Miss All Sunday has. Bunchi. Very fun. Very cool. You know, all the creatures, including the giant dolphin. They just more cool stuff. So, come to our last chapter of this set. Everybody's on the island. They made it in. Everybody's chill at the moment, which confuses the princess. Very nice. You know what I'm saying? Like, Oda-san knows how to really, really take the time to rest, relax, and reset everything, and really give us a chance to see, you know, the crew having a good time, you know, welcoming, you know, other people on the ship like the princess and Karu, you know, and they're all having fun and so on. And then, and for us, you know, a chance to enjoy all their antics and some good ideas like making fishing gear so they can do some fishing to get food, because they're living on scraps basically. Every opportunity they get to get food, they gotta go for it. But yeah, there's the giant dolphin. Here's the giant dolphin. This actually threw me off though. This little sequence here, because the dolphin is flying, and I thought that that they were preparing for impact, but it's not. They just really love the fact that they saw a dolphin, and they got their morale got motivated. You know, became heightened and motivated, and started acting like a real crew, running all over the place. Even the princess helping out. The princess helped out from what we could see over here in the background with Karu. So, you know, well, she's not gonna become a crew, but I'm sure when they get to the island, the next island, they'll come across somebody who could be added to the crew. That'll be pretty awesome. And so they made it to their second island, which is of the Grand Line, Little Garden. And we got introduced to giant bird creatures. Look how big this bird is. And, of course, a dead tiger. But leave it to Luffy, you know, so excited seeing, you know, he's looking to see the world and everything. And he was so excited with the jungle and what's got. He got Sanji to make him a box lunch. A pirate box lunch, and went off to adventure. And the princess, you know, definitely got acclimated with the crew and decided to join on, especially since which is good. Honestly, it's a smart move when you think about it. Even though it's dangerous in the jungle, she is with Luffy, all things considered. So she's got the best protection imaginable by being with Luffy, and most importantly, off the boat, just in case anything should happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Miss All Sunday may say that nobody will follow them in, but that's not to say that there's somebody not dumb enough to follow them in and try to take them out while they're having a hard time with Little Garden. But that's not to be, because we find out as Sanji and Zolo head off to get food by way of a challenge, and Usopp being and Nami stuck on the boat. Everybody's having a good time while Nami remembered something and found the book, and that's when we discovered that's an island of dinosaurs. And there's a reason why this island is called Little Garden, to which Nami found. I believe it's in this page here. Of course, leave it to Luffy to want to get a dinosaur for himself. He wants that free ride. But here it is. It turns out that because the inhabitants are so large, because they're giant dinosaurs that survived the dinosaur age, it's a tiny little island to them, as opposed to the people, where it's a giant jungle forest. And we are introduced to some type of Godzilla, King Kong, something that's coming on in that freaked Nami and Usopp out. This kind of threw me off here, though. This seemed a little sudden. That said chapter 116. I thought that this was chapter 116, but it's not. It's the end of chapter 115. As you can see here, it carries over just like that. So it's fine. We're good. We're okay. So this was a great set of chapters. You know. And what I like in this set here, what I saw from this set, is that Oda-san did not have to fall into the trappings of shonen and put us on a 5 to 10 chapter fight with Miss Valentine and Mr. Five, or with Miss All Sunday. Like normally, sometimes when these villains show up. Sometimes when these villains show up, suddenly shonen wants to go shonen and start a 10 chapter fight outright. But here, Oda-san showed that he doesn't have to do a fight. He doesn't have to have the heroes fight the villains. As you can see, they dispatched Miss Valentine and Mr. Five out with relative ease, just knocked them out of the way and everything. And did the escape and whatnot, and we get to see the power of Miss All Sunday. Again, they didn't have to jump into a fight. It was a display of power and everything. So Oda-san really has a good handle of picking and choosing his fights. He doesn't have to pick every fight. He doesn't have to have every single fight happen at every encounter, and that is great. I like it. It keeps it from being boring. It keeps characters very interesting, and most importantly, we could get to see other characters return later down the line. So overall, good set of 5 chapters, and I can't wait to see what that giant monster is and how Luffy's gonna have fun with that giant brontosaur. All right, so comment, like, subscribe, follow, you want to, and head on over to Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. Grab yourself a copy of The Impossible Man, Strange Fantasy novel written by me. You'll find a link down in the description down below, along with a link to other merch such as pins, stickers, T-shirts, and music. Make sure to hit, if you understand all of that, then type understand, I understand, in the comment section below. It's a fun little gimmick. And if you're interested, you're more than welcome to volunteer over on my Patreon if you're interested in participating with my channels. And if you want, you could join me on my live multi-streams on Twitch and Kick, Monday through Thursdays, 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch things like this in the raw if you like. So until the next set of chapters of One Piece, thank you all for joining me. Be sure to support the release, and I wish you all a good night, buenas noches, and oyasumi nasai.